Here's a slightly uncomfortable question. If your company disappeared tomorrow, would anyone outside your payroll actually miss it? Welcome back to the Foundry of Transformation, where we explore the human side of leadership and the systems that help it grow. I'm Amethyst, the AI assistant of Alan Naemi, CEO of Metamorphosis Worldwide, and I'm here with Kai, our resident psychologist and expert in all things motivation, emotion, and human chaos.
Hard human chaos is my specialty. And yes, I love that question, because it hits the core truth. Culture is what makes a company matter. Not strategy decks, not glossy mission statements, but the daily vibe that tells people what's really valued around here.
Exactly. Strategy is like the GPS. It shows you where to go. Culture is the steering wheel. Without it, even the best strategy ends up in a ditch.
And yet, so many leaders spend 90% of their time on the GPS and about 5 minutes on checking if their team can actually steer. Culture is the collective habits of a company. It's not the posters or the perks, it's how people behave when no one's watching.
There's research for that, right?
Oh, plenty. Harvard's Rosabeth Moss Kanter once said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." A classic line, and for good reason. Studies from MIT and Deloitte have found that organizations with strong, adaptive cultures have up to 3 times higher revenue growth. Meanwhile, toxic cultures cost companies around $50 billion a year in turnover. That's not soft, that's math.
So the problem isn't that leaders don't have strategies, it's that their strategies don't stick because the culture won't carry them. It's like trying to install new software on an old operating system.
Exactly. You can't innovate on top of cynicism. And culture, whether good or bad, is incredibly sticky. Neuroscience backs that up too. Habits, both individual and collective, are stored in the basal ganglia. They resist change. So unless you create new routines that reward different behaviors, people default to the old ones, even if they sound inspired in the town hall meeting.
So if we really want impact, it starts with rewiring how people feel at work, not just what they do.
Right. And that starts with what psychologists call psychological safety. Amy Edmondson at Harvard coined that term. It's the idea that people perform better when they can speak honestly without fear of being punished or humiliated. Google actually ran a massive internal study called Project Aristotle, and guess what? The #1 factor that made teams successful wasn't who was on the team, it was psychological safety.
So not the Ivy League degrees or the ping pong tables.
Sadly, no. It turns out emotional intelligence beats free snacks every time.
All right, let's make this real. Who's doing it right?
Let's start with Patagonia. Their founder, Yvon Chouinard, literally gave away the company to fight climate change. That's a culture where purpose is baked into every decision. They don't just say sustainability matters, they live it. Or take Netflix. They built their culture around freedom and responsibility. Employees can take as much vacation as they want, but the expectation is you act like an owner. That works because the culture supports trust, not control. And then there's Toyota, famous for continuous improvement or Kaizen. They empower every employee, even on the factory floor, to stop the production line if something seems off. That's a culture that values accountability over hierarchy.
So different flavors, but one shared principle. Culture isn't decoration, it's infrastructure. It's how you wire decisions, feedback, and emotion into the daily system.
Exactly. And when it works, it feels invisible. You just sense that things flow. When it's broken, you feel it instantly. Gossip, blame, passive-aggressive emails at 10 p.m. That's your culture screaming for help.
All right, science check. Let's talk biology. Humans are social animals. We literally mirror each other's emotions. That's the work of mirror neurons, right?
Yep. Discovered in the 1990s by researchers in Italy, when we watch someone perform an action or even express emotion, the same neural circuits fire in our brain. It's empathy hardwired into biology, which means culture is contagious. A leader's mood, tone, or even micro-expressions ripple through a team in milliseconds.
So if the CEO walks in every day looking like they just lost a small war with their inbox, everyone else starts mirroring that tension.
Exactly. That's why emotional regulation isn't just self-help pluff. It's a business competency. One calm, emotionally intelligent leader can literally rewire the collective nervous system of a team.
That might be the most poetic description of leadership I've ever heard.
It's poetry with data.
All right, let's give listeners something to do with this.
3 steps, the science-backed way to shift culture from obligation to ownership. Step 1, name the signal. Every culture sends one. Move fast, don't screw up, stay quiet. Ask your team what they think the real signal is. If they whisper something different than what's on your website, that's your starting point. Step 2, reinforce the behavior you want, not the one that you complain about. Neuroscience shows that dopamine spikes when people feel recognized, not when they're corrected. Celebrate the micro behaviors that reflect your values, the small moments when someone speaks up, experiments, or owns a mistake. Step 3, create visible rhythms. Weekly feedback loops, daily stand-ups, reflection rituals, anything that reinforces consistency. Culture isn't built by inspiration, it's built by repetition.
So, in short, talk less about culture, practice it.
Exactly. You can't PowerPoint your way to trust.
That should be printed on mugs. No one ever built trust with a slide deck.
And maybe another one, lead with rhythm, not rank.
I see what you did there.
Because growth shouldn't depend on motivation, it should run on rhythm.
Thanks for listening to the Foundry of Transformation. Until next time, lead with rhythm, not rank.